To fulfill the word the Lord had spoken to Jeroboam, son of Nebat, through Ahijah the Shilonite, right? Remember that we talked about that last week. Verse 16, when all Israel saw that the king refused to listen to them, they answered the king, what share do we have in David? What part in Jesse's son? To your tents, O Israel, look after your own house, O David. So the Israelites went home, but as for the Israelites who were living in the towns of Judah, Rehoboam still ruled over them. So this is what happens. Can you show that map with the divided kingdom? Can you go back to that? So this is what happens. So they're in Shechem. Rehoboam makes the announcement. What happens? Israel, right? Israel's like, you have nothing to say. Obviously we have no part in Jesse's son. We have no part of David's anymore. So they spread out over here. And then Rehoboam comes back into Jerusalem, and Judah, right? The tribes of Judah come back. They're there, and Rehoboam reigns over them. And what do you have? You're left with a kingdom that now is torn in two. Why? Because of a decision that was made. A decision that was made without the wisdom and without the direction of God. And this is the reality. You and I make decisions all the time. Daily, we make decisions. And in our lives, it's not about a kingdom being torn as much as it is about our lives being torn. So you're struggling in your marriage. And you go and you consult the elders. You go and consult those who love you enough to say the hard things. And they say, stay faithful. Stand firm. Stay strong. Don't give up. And then you go to your friends. And they go, You need to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Happy mom, happy kids. I've heard this before. Happy mom, happy kids. Divorce the guy. You need to be happy. That's junk. What does the Word of God say? Whose counsel do you listen to? So you're a high school student. Begin to get some friends that kind of surround you. Your friends are like, you don't need to listen to your mom and dad. They won't find out. Just come to the party with us. Don't worry about what your mom and dad are going to say. Really? You know what those who love you would say? Who love God? They'd say, obey your mom and dad. Obey your mom and dad. Who do you listen to? Who are you going to listen to? You're involved in ministry, leading a small group, serving in a ministry, leading a church. You're one of the elders. Whatever your situation is. And your decision is, do I continue to serve, or do I kind of do what I want to do? Do I kind of live on my own? Do I kind of just live and do what I want to do? And you decide, you kind of talk to some of your friends outside the church, and they're like, dude, just come on over. Let's just kind of get out of this whole church thing. What are you doing? And all of a sudden, a ministry is torn. A legacy. How many of you want to leave something behind? How many of you want to leave a mark? You want to leave a mark on your life. You want to leave something for your kids. You don't want just you following Jesus. You want a generational vision of following Jesus. You want that. If you want that, Are you listening to those who truly love you and love the Word of God and love Jesus and will encourage you no matter what? Or do you listen to those people that you kind of want to like, wow, that looks really nice to kind of live that life and kind of do that thing and spend my money this way and kind of buy the, whatever, and all those decisions we make. What are you going to listen to? Because your decisions will make a difference when it comes living a life being together and unified or a life being torn apart. All right, so let me just talk through some things really quickly. Why do we reject wisdom? Why do we kind of reject this? What's that issue? We reject some really quickly. We reject when we already have our minds made up. You know what I mean? We kind of reject. Like when you get there, you're already in the decision, and you're like kind of coming to people, and you're like, I've already got my mind made up. It's going to be Nutter Butters today. Like I don't care what the kids say. It's Nutter Butters. But I'll talk to them. Kind of make them happy. You just kind of start rejecting. Bring people on early on in the decision. Right? Bring people early on in the decision. Number 2, we reject the wisdom when we don't want to do what they say, right? We don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, no, stay strong in your marriage. Like stand firm, stay faithful. No, I don't really want to do that. Right? Have you ever been there? Someone like tells you what you need to do and you really don't want to do that? We reject that wisdom. And number 3, we reject wisdom when we already know what they are going to say. This kind of reverses. So right now we've been kind of talking about you kind of coming to somebody and getting wisdom. This now kind of reverses it a little bit and talks about those who are giving the wisdom. Do you always say no? You know what I mean? Is your response when someone comes to you always no? Like if your kids always come to you and you're like, no, how many times are they going to keep coming to you? Right? They're going to be like, I already know what mom's going to say. No. Not yet. Be patient. Just hear them out. Listen to the story. Listen to what's going on in their life. I mean, when you're the one who's kind of giving the counsel, and you do disagree with what's about to happen, right? I mean, have you ever been there? Right? Someone comes to you and they're asking you for counsel and you disagree with what they want to do, okay? So they want to get a divorce and you're like, no, right? So when you're at that point of disagreement, why is it that you disagree with them? Do you disagree because it's a biblical principle, a biblical truth, or do you disagree because of preference? So Tyson and Katie, some of my closest friends, one of the worship leader in the past. A couple months ago, they come to me. Hey, we're thinking of moving to Baltimore. What? What do you think? Well, you shouldn't go. Well, why not? I don't want you to go. Okay, why shouldn't I go? Was my preference for you not to go? I mean, you're leading worship here, dude. You're one of my closest friends. I mean, come on, you just got married. Certainly you'll stay. Kate, we just hired Katie. Why would you leave? I mean, this is nuts. You know what I'm saying? You guys are like, yeah, what is up with this? I don't know. It's all called Tyson. No. It's like, what we need to do, though, is we need to step back and go, well, am I talking about preference right now, or am I talking about a biblical mandate? Am I talking about a biblical truth? Stand firm on the biblical truth. Do not back down to the biblical truth. When it's like, marriage, divorce, man, do I get a divorce? Well, has he been unfaithful? No. I just don't really like him anymore. Okay, I don't care. Stay together. We'll work out getting to know each other, right? But if it's like, do I go to Baltimore or or whatever? Well, it's preference. Tyson, I certainly hope you stay.